Hey everybody. Okay, so I just watched Anna's video and she brought up some like really interesting points, and I think that we all kind of made some interesting points on our reflections. But to answer her first question about why do you think that White was always constantly running back to New York, and I think I know I kind of touched about this in my paper, but I think that it was his acceptance and how that society wasn't really accepting of like who he was as a person, who he was as a male, and who he was as like a person that was gay. Because but then so he was drawn to New York because he even like talks about there's one point in the book where he had said like that the nightlife and like the queues and like he was just more comfortable in New York than it was in Rome because it was way more difficult and way more unfamiliar almost with him to be who he was than it was for him to be in New York, because he knew like the type of streets to walk down and like the like looks that like the guys would give him, and so that kind of I think that's why he was so drawn to New York. I also think that New York has like so there's like that sense of familiarity, but it's also a sense of adventure, so it ties like the two together because there's always like the nightlife and plenty of opportunities for him to find like jobs and stuff, and so I think it was a combination of the two, which leads me into the next question, which is like his how do you think being gay affected his career? And honestly, I don't really. That was a good question because I didn't think that the book really touched that much on it, or like I feel like it was more of his personal life, and he didn't really he focused on his career obviously, but it was never I don't know. So then you could relate that the fact that like it took forever for his book to be published and everybody kept turning it down, and only the people that liked it were the people that like he had had like like sexual experiences with and stuff, and so you could tie that, you could say, well, maybe they were discriminating against him, but he never really directly states anything negative coming from his work just because he was gay. But I definitely think that there's might be some correlations, and it could affect, like, obviously writers, well, what they write come from like a personal like connection or experience or something that the author is like inspired by, and I think that that shapes and is unique for every author. And so obviously, White's experiences and everything is going to shape the way that he writes. So you could also say that maybe like him being gay has like a little bit of a connection to the type of writing style or the type of things that he writes about. So there you go.